Hey, what's up? I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. Now, I'm currently extremely hard at work on Regulated City, my upcoming game. Well, currently not hard at work on the game, but when this video is done, I'll be back working on the game. Actually, so hard working on the game that all my other projects kinda are delayed in stasis, waiting for me to find some time to get back on those projects. HTML games, upcoming games after Regulated City, but more importantly, the recently released Heroes of Loot Gauntlet of Power. In case you forgot, only 4 months ago I released my latest game, and let's talk a little bit about that one. What has been going on with that game and what's still to come on that game. I think it's a cool, interesting topic for today's video after the intro. So I've been complaining a little bit lately to my wife that I just don't have enough time on my hands to do all the things I want and I probably need to do. Or I don't have enough hands. One of those. So let's talk a little bit about Gauntlet of Power. I released it 4 months ago on Steam only so far. Now currently I'm testing the Switch version. It's up and running and I thought it would be interesting to talk a little bit about that one. Of course the porting is done by Serious Lion on my Discord. He's there, but he has other places where he is, I guess. It's not like he lives in my Discord, but you can find him there. Now I write all my games in Java, using a little bit of libgdx, just a tiny bit, and then a lot of custom code. Luckily that makes it easy to port it, or easier, because I don't have a lot of extra libraries that somehow need to work in monogame, because for the Switch version we use monogame. Pascal, why don't you just write your games in monogame? I could, but I'm very used to Java, and whenever I have a finished project, I already have a new project, and that's in Java because I was working in Java for the last one, and the loop is endless and endless. I just work in Java. Let me be. Moving on. So here we have the game running on Switch. It's not done yet, but so far it's pretty cool. This is, I think, the 4th or maybe the 5th version. It's up to date. It actually contains all the stuff I've been adding to the Steam version. I'll get into those things in a minute. But it's up to date. It just has a bunch of little things that are not right. And it's now up to me to test all that and then write down everything that isn't correctly working or isn't showing correctly. And then a Serious Lion hopefully fixes it ASAP and we get a new version to test. And then eventually we'll get to submit it to Nintendo. So what kind of things are we looking for? Well, one very simple. First of all, this one over here, the plus button, but the to start, and it should be centered on screen. Something like that is a bug, and I'm looking for all those little things. Also, I shouldn't press the D-pad. I'm pretty sure I have to press the A button, so that's incorrect. Then we have like this one where in Java, I create a format string thingy, and this is probably not ported yet in monogame, so that he has to do something there manually. Also, you see a lot of interface issues pretty much that aren't working, but we can boot up this game, and then gameplay-wise, it's pretty interesting that almost everything so far is working as expected. Yeah, there has been very few gameplay issues or bugs, and everything just does what it has to. Now Gauntlet of Power has a lot of pretty simple code, and that obviously also helps when porting things. There's not a lot of difficult stuff going on. A lot of the enemies and things often share the same type of code, so yeah, gameplay is just there, and I'm just playing through the game as much as possible to see if I run into other issues, but mostly the bugs I've been looking at and the things I've been finding are interface related. So that's still a lot of work. And now we ran into a crash. Game over screen should appear, but it's pretty much stuck, locked on. So that means I'll have to add this to Trello. So I use Trello for all my to-do list and things when I'm working on my own. But I also gave Serious Lion access to all these games so that we can actually track all the stuff that's for the Switch. Everything with a little blue bar, a blue label, is now for Switch. You can add labels on Trello, so Switch is blue. Everything that has a blue label is pretty much a bug in Switch. And usually I play these games like on the couch in the evening, and then I have Trello open on either my Chromebook or my mobile. And then I quickly add stuff, and then later I'll add some explanation on where to find it in the code. For example, mounted weapon, or let me see, I had a conversation here wall spikes have frame drops. Yeah, I had wall spikes in the game, and on the Switch it dropped frame rates extremely. It went from 60 to like maybe 10 frames per second. Worse even, I had the game crash a couple of times. So he doesn't know where it is because it's all my code. So I tell him where it is. I point him towards the Java version, and it's pretty much comparable to where the mono game version will be, I expect. So then he knows where to look. And I already figured I'm creating so much debris on those things. A PC has no issue with it, but it's like 16 pieces of debris, which is a particle. And then we have 4 wall spikes. That's 20 or 32 pieces of particles floating up per frame. Yeah, that's pretty much crazy insane. I'm gonna also lower this on PC. There's no point to have that many. Anyway, this is how we actually go through all these bugs until it's all fixed, and then I move it and then I get it into the release version, and then the Switch version is hopefully done. So one of the things that's still going on with Gauntlet of Power is that Switch version. It's taking a little bit longer than I was hoping for. Various things, various reasons. I mean, Serious Lion was also creating life in the shape of his baby. So I guess he's busy on that front as well. Not so much with the creation process because that already happened. It's now more... Alright, moving on. I'm also working on the mobile version of Gauntlet of Power. I have it up and running on my phone. Let me see if I can actually boot it up right now. I think I can. I think I can. Let me see. Gauntlet of Power on Android. And that's also already fully playable, except for a few minor things. Now, the reason for the mobile version not being there yet, 2 different things. One, it's very low priority for me. Mobile market, premium games. Yeah, that's just, it's a shitty environment, and I'm not sure if I want to go free to play with either advertising or in-app payments yet. I haven't figured out what I want, so that's delaying the game as well. Even if I go premium, there's going to be a price tag on the game that's much lower than the PC or the Switch version. It's not comparable to the workload that went into the game, but it's comparable to simply how the mobile market is. You can't ask 13 euros or dollars for a mobile game. Well, you can ask for it, but I don't think anybody's going to pay it. And that's the problem. So I'm always going to release the mobile version much later, because for the simple fact I need that money coming in on PC or console. That's where I make most of my money. So I can't have a very cheap version on mobile. That's just a constant battle. Now, the other reason is pretty simple. I still need to fix a couple of technical things. We have a dash button. I haven't found a way how to do that on mobile yet. It's very easy. Create a dash button on screen, press it, done. But it has to feel good and intuitive. So it's something that's probably fixed in like an hour, but it's very low priority for me. And that's why it hasn't been done yet. Now, another tiny issue that I've been running into is that I wanted to keep pushing updates to the game on PC. But it also means that when I'm changing code, adding new things, Serious Lion has to take all those changes for the Switch version. So I've been delaying or trying to delay these updates, and when I was building updates, tried to make it a separate part of code so that it was very easy to, hopefully easy to implement into the Switch version on monogame. So it's been pretty interesting to work on that. Now, at some point I figured I'd just keep pushing these updates and we'll figure out how to do it. But so far it looks like it's working. We have all the updates that I've been pushing to PC available in the Switch version, and it will also be on the mobile version. So let's talk a little bit about those updates. So I released the game May the 10th, I think 4 months ago. And since then I have been pushing updates. I think we're now on the 3rd update. First one was the Summoner update, which created a whole host of new enemies. Then I pushed a version Choose Your Poison, which added a doctor with pills, but also difficulty mode. So now instead of 1 difficulty mode, we certainly have 3 different ones. An easy mode got added and a hardcore mode, which is even harder than the one we originally had. So there has been a lot of things added. So every couple of weeks I've been pushing out an update. And I think, yeah, this is the release version, May 10th. June 22nd we had version 1.1. Adding a host of new enemies, which was just adding more content to the game. New items and a couple of new weapons. Then we went into a beta version, bringing in difficulty, which were then the release version on July 26th. So every month, I guess, sort of, we had a new version. August 15, we had the new version called Dark Woods, or August 23rd, which means that in 2 weeks' time, it would be cool if I had another update ready. Not sure if I'm gonna make that schedule. But yeah, I've been trying and pushing new updates. And we also added a new realm, the blacksmith, which allows you to change your weapons and friendlies. And I even created a new trailer for the Dark Woods release. So the update came with a whole new realm, a whole new area to play in, a host of new changes and things. I figured it would be cool to have a new video, new trailer up and running. So I took the original release trailer and started replacing certain scenes and images and areas that were now changed and improved. And then it's a lot shorter than the launch trailer, but it does show all the new stuff. And it allowed me to actually push that trailer to different areas, to social media, to the press, things like that. Also been recontacting a lot of the bigger streamers for the simple fact that none of them played the game or picked it up over the last couple of months. But it's one of the reasons I've been pushing updates to the game, trying to find new ways to get the game under the attention of YouTubers or press or players even. I'm hoping that with every big update I do, players that have been enjoying the game will replay it again, and their friends on Steam will notice that they're playing it and hopefully also check it out. I also had one of the updates go hand in hand with a discount for the first time. Game was on, I think, the same discount as the launch discount, or maybe 5% more. It's not gonna go very steep very fast. The next couple of discounts will be at that same percentage, but it will be with more and more content, and hopefully eventually that triggers more players to look into the game. Now, for the time it took to create this game, development wise, we're not breaking even yet, but we're gonna break even. Switch version, mobile version, pushing updates and sales and discounts. Long term, this game is gonna break even. Did it break even in 4 months? No, probably not. I don't have specs on how many it cost to develop and how many it brought in exactly, and now it matches up. Feeling gut-wise, not at breaking even point yet, but it's gonna get there. I'm pretty confident about that one, and it's gonna make profit over time. It's just gonna take a little time. Now I have another update planned, and I might push a couple more eventually. Luckily for me, doing these updates doesn't take a lot of time. It takes maybe a week in total, in max, for a lot of things, and a smaller update, maybe 1 or 2 days even. The game is there, all the game logic is there, everything works and runs. Adding new content is fairly simple. You just have to create it and draw it and animate it and build it into the game that already exists. So if I can find a little bit of time away from Regulated City, another update is coming. Want to add another character to the mix. I want to add another Dark Woods like realm, which is a secret realm. It also added friendlies, so I can now add a lot more friendlies that do different things. Current friendlies are fairies that appear from wooden crates and things once you have the crown, which you find in the Dark Woods. That's not a spoiler, that's just how the game works. These fairies will attack enemies 1 or maybe 2 times and then they die. Other friendlies could just run around and collect loot for you, or maybe we'll have even more different type of friendlies. I just have to come up with the ideas, draw it, implement it, and ship it. That's now the easy part of maintaining this game, and hopefully we'll reach more players, and maybe a YouTuber here and there will pick it up. So that's why I'll keep pushing more updates for the next couple of months. Also, I think I still have a lot of ideas for this game, and I want to add as many as possible just to make sure I have left a pretty cool game out there. So more updates are coming. So I only came up with the topic for today's video this morning, and then I asked the Discord if they had any questions for this, and they had. So let's see what they came up with. From Pascal, are you satisfied with the number of wishlists on release, or do you think it would have been better to postpone until the numbers were bigger? If you want to know how that launch went, check back 4 months ago. I had a video about that. I think I launched with a little over 7,000 wishlists. Now the thing was that I combined a Steam Next Fest with a launch discount and timed it in such a way that it was out on the new and trending or new and upcoming game release list on Friday. Steam doesn't do any changes in the weekend, so it was there on Monday The launch went pretty well, and it would have been better if I had 10,000 more wishlist, obviously. But I wouldn't have waited for that because I had no idea how long it was gonna take. I got a very big surge in wishlist because of the Steam Next Fest, because of me being up and coming. All those things added, I think, at least 3,000, maybe 4,000 wishlists in just 1 or 2 weeks time, or 1 week time, I think. And I wouldn't have had many more wishlists if I waited for another couple of months. It would have just been maybe 100 more, maybe 1,000 more. I don't think that would have changed the release status at all. But I do think you need to be near those 5,000-6,000 wishlists to get in that new and upcoming list. And then hopefully you can push it to above 7,000 or more and release your game on Steam right now in 2024. It might be very different if you watch this video in 1 or 2 years. Next question from Rohit. How many secret areas you got planned? I got plans for at least one, hopefully in the next update, which will be a desert-like area. But I want to add more. I also want to add a Space Grunts science fiction like, because that ties into the intro and how the whole Orangepixel game galaxy universe ties together. So I guess I have at least 2 of those realms planned. I only have the realms planned, not exactly what you can find there and how they tie into the world of this game right now. But I'll figure that one out when I'm working on it. Graham. A bunch of questions. You're so full of questions. What's going on in your head, man? All right. Has the reception feedback meted your expectations? If not, where did you want things to be? Yeah, the reception feedback, getting a lot of reviews, a lot of positive reviews very early on. Pretty much a lot of you and a lot of people on the Discord helping me out, getting the game out there and pushing it as much as possible by simply buying it, reviewing it, playing it. That went very well. I'm very happy with it and very thankful to everybody. I would have wanted, again, the YouTubers. I think Twitch streamers as well, but also YouTubers, Let's Play people. Those bigger names are key influencers right now to gain attention to your game. I wasn't really hoping for press like game sites. I mean, who here visits game sites regularly? I don't, unless there's some certain news item that suddenly pops up on Discord. So I wasn't really looking for press, but influencers. And sadly that there were a couple of smaller ones. They did very cool content for my game. I actually thanked them and sent them more information and full release Steam keys and all that. I like those, but I was hoping for a little bit more bigger audience type attraction, eyeball creators, content makers, thingies. Have you been approached by any publisher after the release of the game? Yeah, I think 1 or 2, but those publishers are in the realm of smaller than me. They might have more people working there for them, but their social media is very tiny. Their releases on Steam have less reviews and things than my games have. So yeah, I always feel kind of weird that they contact me for publishing for somehow. I don't know. But it's kind of funny if a publisher contacts you post-release. I'm not sure what they can do or change or add to a game right there. Right now I know somebody's watching that actually is in that situation and he knows I'm very interested in what happens because they had a publisher post-release. I'm just interested in how that plays out. I'm not sure. Of course, for Switch version and stuff like that, but I can already do a Switch version together with my buddy Serious Lion, and we in theory can do an Xbox and PlayStation version. We have the developer kits, just no time to figure all of that out. But in theory, we could do those versions as well. What are the planned future platforms for the game? Switch, Atari VCS, which will be the same build as the Switch version, mobile, Android and iOS. Have you considered DLC? I have considered DLC for various games, I just never figured out how to do it. Maybe I should actually put some time into that and try it in one of my games. It can't be that hard because a lot of developers are doing it, and I think it's very simple as having that option available to buy, and then it unlocks something that the game secretly already has. But most players don't know that. Alright, so let's wrap up this video. This is not a post-mortem for Gauntlet of Power. This is not the game was released and it sold terribly or sold average or whatever. This is more me making the point that the game is out there. It's now released 4 months, but it's still getting new content and updates. I'm not done with it myself. Gauntlet of Power will get more updates, and I will try to push new stuff to it, and I will try to find press and get new eyeballs on the game, hopefully with the help of some YouTubers. So if you know a couple of the bigger YouTubers, contact them, let them know about this game. I have Steam keys available for them, but I am looking for the bigger YouTuber channels, not those that are smaller than my own channel, but the bigger YouTube channels. And I'm actually also planning for a new Heroes of Loot game already. I just don't have the time for it right now, and that's the sad part. I have so many ideas, just 2 hands and not enough time on the clock to work on all of it. But I'll find a way. Eventually I'll find a way. For now, I better start editing this video. So I'm saying thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, hop on the Discord, come say hi. And I'll see you hopefully in next week's video. Bye. Well, I'll move the camera a little bit up and down, left and right. And I really need a display that flips the screen, whatever.